flow can continue at the pace in which it's happening right now? Or do you think it's going to accelerate?
Yes and yes. So I definitely think it can continue. I think we've seen 12-ish billion of net inflow over the 8 weeks or so. I think that absolutely can and will continue. Do I think it is likely to accelerate, not decelerate? Yeah. And the reason is we still don't have all of the wirehouses and independents with full approval of the ETFs for their advisors. We still don't have all the education resources. There's going to be volatility, right? I think the volatility that we're experiencing now, talked about this, right after Chinese New Year, every year after a big year. So 3 out of 4 years in the cycle. So not on the down years, but on the 3 up years, you get 2 drawdowns in the first half of the year. One around Lunar New Year, because people in China need to cash out to fill up their red envelopes with cash, with renminbi. And that happens like clockwork, and it's a big place. Second is around tax time for the US. So kind of, Ides of March through the first week of April, as people realize, oh, geez, I got to pay taxes on all that crypto that I traded last year because it was up, 155%. And there's natural selling. And so that in the short run swamps the inflows. You got the added challenge that GBTC made a decision, which I don't fault them for in terms of being money grabbers. You got a captive audience, most of which came in at 6, 8, 10 grand Bitcoin. So they have huge capital gains. If they sell, they're going to incur big taxes. So it was highly unlikely they were going to sell right away just to save 100 basis points. But if it was in a not-for-profit account, an IRA, a retirement account, those were going to get sold. And that was bang, 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 the first few weeks of withdrawals. Now there's some arbitrage going on out there that people don't pay attention to. Interesting thing is financialization of this market is good in so many ways, right? I said all along, if the only purpose of Bitcoin is to put it on your ledger and bury it in your backyard, we can all go back to our day jobs because we have that. Sure. That's called gold. And it's been good for 5,000 years. But what people don't think about is that gold isn't just the few bars or coins that you stuff in your safe at your house as running money. It is the base layer of money. Every central bank in the world owns it. They issue currency on top of it. Mm-hmm. And the same thing about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin wants to be digital gold, digital property, right, eventually take on real estate as the great store of value, then it needs to be deposited. It needs to be lent out. It needs to be borrowed against. It needs to be financialized, meaning people can borrow against it. They can decide if they want to rehypothecate it or not. We need rules and regulations like the banking industry has. So the future of finance should look like the past of finance, and violators like Bear Stearns and Lehman and others should go bust, and we shouldn't bail them out, by the way. But so ultimately, we are on the right path